What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ, here with my co-host Q. Happy Saturday to you all. Happy weekend. Q, what's good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy Saturday. Another great day of boxing to get to watch some decent cards, and we're looking forward to it. It's another good weekend for sure.
For sure. 3 big cards on the day. 3 big notable cards on the day. There's actually some smaller cards out there too. Check out Boxing Showtimes if you're interested. It's got the entire lineup for every card. Don't miss a fight. Hey, Boxing Showtimes, it's time for that sponsorship. Send them dollars to an advertiser for y'all. But anyway, today we're here to talk about the first card of the day. You've got Sonny Edwards. He's going to be facing Campos. This is on the DAZN. We're going to talk about DAZN cards here, and we'll have a separate video to talk about Top Rank. So the first card of the day, you got Sonny Edwards. He's the IBF champion. And Q, do you have any particular thoughts about this card, or do you just want to go right into a prediction?
I think the one interesting element to this June 10th card that a lot of people may not know is that originally this card was scheduled to be for Josh Warrington and his return to the ring, who was the former IBF champion at 126 at featherweight. But because of the situation that happened with Mauricio Lara and Lee Wood having to get their rematch, which happened a couple of weeks ago, we did talk about that. They had to kind of, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom had to kind of rearrange things as far as who was going to fight on this June 10th date. In comes Sonny Edwards, who recently is a new Matchroom signee. And they, Matchroom has done a lot of investing in the flyweight division, the division where Sonny has been now for the majority of his career. And he's always wanted some big fights. He's wanted to get those unifications and try to become an undisputed champion. But that had not been able to happen until recently, where it looks like now there's a realistic, pathway for him to unify. So this is his first step towards that. And Andres Campos, I think, is going to be a solid test. Tough, durable, rugged guy, a guy who comes forward. He's from Chile. Not a lot of boxers come from Chile. But if I know anything from based on what I've seen on tapes, what I've seen in his training camps, the behind the scenes footage, he's probably going to obviously be the aggressor because Sonny is the pure boxer. That's what Sonny does. Sonny is a stick and move jab kind of outside fighter. And I think that it's going to be a good contrast of styles because you're going to have Sonny trying to fight off the back foot and Andres Campos trying to catch up to him. So it'll, really come down to how good is Campos with his pressure fighting style. And that will determine how hard of a fight he makes it for Sonny Edwards.
For sure. And going into this one, guys, Sonny Edwards is 19-0 with 4 KOs, and Campos is 15-0 with 4 KOs. So more than likely, unless just some amazing punch you don't see happens, this one's probably going to go to the cards. But I'm going to be picking Sonny in this one, just on swag alone. The swag that he has shooting his shot on Twitter let me know that Sonny, he's been shooting at Clarissa Shields for a minute. So, so just on swag alone, he going after the GOAT. He trying to be undisputed and get him undisputed. So, hey, shout out to him, man. You miss all the shots you don't take, right? So we're gonna move on to the next fight of the day, the next card of the day, and we have Mungia versus Derevyanchenko, and Shane Mosley Jr. is also going to be on this card. This one's going to be on today as well. This is the late card, so feel free to definitely check this one out, guys. And quickly, I just want to talk about Shane Mosley briefly. I just want to say that I watched this last fight. I can't remember what card he was on. It was the day we had a lot of boxing, but he didn't look his best. He got in the ring with a guy that hadn't fought in like 3 years, and he had him beat early, and he kind of struggled across the finish line. So there was some issues with stamina, etc. And for Shane Jr., if you're trying to carve out your own path, that was something that just wasn't there with your dad. So do have some concerns about that. But other than that, I think I'm going to pick him to win this fight. Because he does have the skill. He has a natural skill, and he's a hard worker. I just think that he never really got over that hump after that TV show, The Contender. And, now he's just kind of boxing because he apparently loves the sport. But the main event, Mungia and Derevyanchenko, what are your thoughts on that one?
I think it's a good fight because we know what Derevyanchenko brings. He's an experienced guy. He's been in there with the very, very best there is in and around middleweight. This fight is notable. It is going to be at 168, so that might even lean a little bit more towards Derevyanchenko being able to not have to drain himself as an older fighter. Maybe it invigorates him by giving him a break off of the weight cut, possibly, but it also could go the other way where Mungia has always been a big guy. He started at 154 where he won his first WBO title, and he was really tight at that weight, and he was really tight at 160. I believe even in one of his fights, I think it may have even been against Demetrius Ballard, who's fighting Shane Mosley. I think he missed weight on the first attempt. This was about a year ago, and that kind of was the signal that maybe they needed to move him up again. But I think it's a decent fight. I don't think that it's a bad fight for a guy who, quite frankly, has not been put in against the very, very best. But I think that this will tell us a lot about how good he can be at 168 or 160 if he decides to move back down to try to get a title there where there's a more realistic chance that he can get one. There's less talented fighters, or there's more vacant titles that are going to become available at 160 than there is with him trying to beat Canelo at 168. But in my opinion, I think that Mungia wins this fight. I think he wins this fight on strength of arms. I think that eventually Derevyanchenko gets worn down, but I do think that it's an entertaining fight. I think that it's an action fight, and I think that it's going to be a very strong matchup that's going to tell us a lot about where Mungia goes from here, because Derevyanchenko's been in with Triple G, and he gave him a tough fight. He's been in, and arguably a lot of people think that he beat Triple G. He was in with Danny Jacobs, and that was a very tough and close fight. And he obviously had his fight with Jamal Charlo, which was probably of those three, it was the last one, but that was the one where he was beaten a little bit more conclusively. So that can kind of tell us how well Mungia is doing at this point, depending on how well he handles Derevyanchenko. If he has any kind of serious issues, if he gets hurt, if he loses more than probably 4 rounds in this fight, then that's going to tell us a lot about why he's been matched the way he's been.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a layup for him, obviously. I just, up to this point, I hadn't seen him in there in any super tough fights. Obviously, every fight is tough because you got to get in there and you have to beat somebody. But I haven't seen him anything that was excessively tough. And I think that his record is a lot of fluff. So while I'm actually going to watch the fight, I'm already expecting that Mungia is going to win. And I think he might stop him. So that's kind of my prediction, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments on these 2 fight cards. Is there any fight that we didn't talk about that you think we should be paying extra attention to? You know, hey, we're just a couple of guys. Some things slip through the cracks. So if it's something we should be noticing that we didn't mention, please let us know. But this has been T. That's Q. What you got, bro?
One last thing I did want to mention is that everybody needs to watch and see how well he does at 168, because we noticed that the issues that Canelo has been having with trying to get an opponent for his date in September, I think it's a realistic possibility that they may turn and look at Mungia if he does have a strong statement victory, like some kind of a early knockout or something like that. That's something for everybody to keep their eyes peeled for. That may be a route that Canelo chooses to go.
Or he could call David Benavidez and take $50 million.
He's going to make that $50 million anyway, but that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation.
If Mungia gets a sensational knockout, should he call Mungia to get that date, or should he call Benavidez? We'd love to get your thoughts. We will come back with a video about that. But this has been T, and that's Q. Until the next time, we out, y'all. Peace.